How does it work like that? Okay, that's proof right there. That's proof right there. And I don't want to ballyhoo about it, but I will say to you that Southern Baptist tech professionals and hackers are involved in the sabotage of the last video that I ran. And I'm going to give you the link to that video right here and right now in the comments. Link to sabotaged video. There's no doubt it works. It works on Substack. This ain't just YouTube like you always think it is. By Southern Baptist hackers, IT professionals, and NSA contractors. That's in the comments of this video right now. And I'm going to copy the comment and I'm going to put it in the chat window. Comments are not allowed. Okay, so what I'll do, it won't take it. I'll put it in the chat right now. This is the link. If you can get access to chat replay, this is the link to the sabotage video by the Southern Baptist Convention. After I finish this video, I want you to go to that YouTube channel, and we'll see if the sound doesn't subsequently just return. But as right now, I cannot hear it, and I'm still going to try some other things here. And I proved that the video was not muted. We went to both the headphone speaker and to the regular speaker. And either way, the video played the same quality and everything. I will leave this up on Substack to ask you to pray that these videos can get out to Southern Baptist, because I know Southern Baptist right now are watching these videos. I'm not getting the credit for them that I should get in views. And they are asking questions to their leadership. They are getting out in the algorithm more than what the numbers show. The answer to my prayer, that's indicative that they are very grieved. Mark Dever's 9 marks lost, or is going to lose their $5 million a year for 10 years, $50 million NSA contract using me and even Daweed as a major research point as to how you can get somebody like me under control. I think the research results are teaching them the same thing that Scripture has been teaching. Thereby, you should have just believed it and not gone around that mountain. The 9 Marks churches, led by Mark, the Blue Devil Dever, who did recently have a stroke in about May this year, is the founder of that 9 Marks movement. And himself, in every state, they have churches. And in the larger states, he averages about 800 to 900 churches, and even he tops 1,000, like say in places like California or Florida or something. But let's see if I can still hear myself. I can still hear myself running on Substack. This is an entire YouTube thing. NSA contractors have access to YouTube, therefore Southern Baptist IT professionals have. IT professionals have access to YouTube. Substack doesn't have that problem, at least yet. It's proof. Southern Baptist NSA contractors are tampering with my YouTube videos more and more because the truth is coming out. And ain't nobody in the convention itself, even if they don't agree, they go along with it. Those who are ex-Southern Baptists that remain in evangelicalism say so much and then they drop off the show. I am using my testimony, which is second to none, in exposing what these Southern Baptist pastors actually try to do to lure you into sin, trafficking, and even sex exploitation. And I'm telling you, it's the truth. And so I am going to publish this on YouTube and see what happens to the sound when I do this. They know I have the wisdom of the Ruach HaKodesh. They know the Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, will give me something else. I attempted to run a video on Isaiah 32 and Trump's lying words. And I'm going to tell you, Trump himself is probably going to dip into his pockets and pay that 9 Marks movement. Him and Dever will have a visitation. Don't tell me those two haven't met. Oh, yes, they have. But he'll never say it because he knows, or let it be too widely known, because people like me will pick up on it. We'll get the wisdom of the Ruach HaKodesh, and then I'll be able to tell you what's going on. I always know what's going on when the Ruach HaKodesh is speaking. But this is not a discouragement. It's to show that this ministry, who doesn't even collect online donations, who sojourns and preaches the gospel all over the place, who has found favor of Yahuwah in this town, with no money, no anything. I'm disabled with lymphoma, and 80% of the bones in my body at one time haven't been broken and not yet completely set, who have been in the midst of many vehicular homicides with all their millions of dollars, and they still can't stop me. They still can't stop Dawid. All the $50 million, Dever, that I know you got from the NSA, to use that as a foundation for not only me, but controlling others' speech. And I'm going to tell you, Mark Dever is a Nazi. He is a fascist Nazi, and he even has to hide the fact of what he really worships. This I will say to you in complete truth, not lying, in the Ruach HaKodesh. Mark Dever can be found throwing up the Nazi symbol in his sermons quite often. You need to look at that. The word 9 Marks itself, the 9 is like an anchor. That's Freemasonry. That's even the Knights of Templar have that symbol. The Maritimes have that symbol, 9. The old logos of 9 Marks from years ago would have the 9 as an anchor, and even had symbols of parasites and things like that in there. And you know what happened during the pandemic 2020. But Dawid is making headway in the Ruach HaKodesh, the Ruach Yahuwah, Ruach Eluah, Yahuwah. There is no other Eluah. You can say God all you want, and God means different things to different religions and even different denominations. But there's only one Eluah. And the reason why you don't like that name that was more portrayed in the book of Jeremiah, you don't like the word Elohim, which is what you call Elohim. You don't like it because Alua sounds like Allah, and that's not what I'm trying to do. So it's truth. Now I'm going to pray a prayer of spiritual warfare against these demons who are driving the Southern Baptist and the NSA to take my videos off of YouTube. They know, they have my phone. South Boston, Maine pastor Brian Wilbur himself paid off a gentleman to come here and steal my phone. Then when I tracked the phone, Dawid can testify, it was tracked to Albany, New York, where Brian Wilbur is largely from. He's actually from Sherrill, New York, self-proclaimed, and I've been to that house in Sherrill, New York. And he had a lot of things to do with Syracuse and Albany. I don't even think his dad's a real believer, although he does missions. I have to tell you, they're probably involved more in trafficking than they are the gospel. But that has a lot to do with this here too. He's not answered. Like I told you before, when I was in Forestville, New York, and I went to the New Hope Farm, and I texted not Robert Barnes' number, but Brian Wilbur. But what Robert Barnes, what he texted back, he says, "Is this me?" Caught him in a lie. Brian Wilbur was wearing a skin mask looking like some Robert Barnes from New York, New Hope Farm. Well, how can that heck be? He be in South Boston, Maine, and be here? Because that's how a lot of pastors operate.
I need to speak on this matter.
Real quick, because we're going to have to go. But I'm okay.
Let's just turn it around.
Turn it around and let him talk. Yeah.
So when we were at No Hope Farm, it was definitely Brian Wilbur and not Robert Barnes. Robert Barnes was ill when I was talking to him over Facebook over a period of time. Now he was definitely working with Robert Barnes for a while, but I think his programming started breaking down as I started showing him the different things, and I was praying for him and everything. And when we were in the barn, the man masquerading as Robert Barnes said that a farmer hung himself in there. Knowing what I know now, I'm pretty sure they hung Robert Barnes in the barn because he had failed them. Mm-hmm. And I really believe he may have even repented and he died a martyr for the truth. They were still working on his wife when we got there, so I don't know how she's doing now, but it seemed her programming was breaking down as well because they kept putting her on. He was treating her like trash, basically.
Had prostitutes over there. He'd fly them in from anyone who would come to him.
Yep.
He flew in prostitutes. And these are the kind of women that Brian Wilbur himself liked. He was supposedly married to a Puerto Rican named Charlotta. Mm-hmm. Don't know. I mean, never met her, never saw her, never knew her, even though I visited with him. This other one seemed to be Puerto Rican, but somebody maybe different. She was at least part Puerto Rican, one we met. And then there's the prostitute he brought in was a Puerto Rican. Yeah. She said she was a prostitute. No, she still is was a prostitute at the time working for him.
And I can attest.
So say something to finish that off, please.
And I can say to it with near 100% certainty that Brian Wilbur has a longer face than Robert Barnes did.
Yeah, Robert Barnes had a.
So, if you want to turn around now.
So anyway, Dawid's recantation. Why is this? Because the Brian Wilbur I knew from seminary in the 90s and early 2000s seemed sheepish. But then at other times, at the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, Louisville, Kentucky. Seemed quite sheepish at times, but that arrogant wild side did come out. And I did detect that the pastor, Todd Robertson, he was under staff at Bethany Baptist Church. Todd Robertson talked about going to titty bars. And I suspected that during the 2001 Billy Graham revival in Louisville, Kentucky at Papa John Cardinal Stadium, I told him right there and then. I might have made a joke out of it, but I said, I know you and your dad went to a strip bar, didn't you? I was kind of making a joke out of it, but it actually was true. And somehow I don't know, sometimes the Ruach HaKodesh can use things that, but see, this is what I'm trying to warn you about. They come off sheepish. They look like they're good. They look like they live holy lives. They don't tell you what they really do. They might tell you some sins like anger and all this. They're not going to confess anything major they've really ever done in the past, and maybe now don't do as much, or maybe don't even do it at all because they've done their duties. But your duties are never over when you work for Lucifer in the Freemason lodges. There's a lot more I could say, but the premise of this video was just to make it clear. Southern Baptist, NSA, IT professionals, programmers, and security specialists are all involved in hacking my YouTube channel and taking the sound out of it when I run the lives. Now I'm going to see how this video turns out. I'm going to see if the other video cannot recover its sound when it's fully processed in 24 hours. Usually a live doesn't take 24 hours to process, so I guess they're getting special permission or hacking and giving themselves special permission, because a lot of them also work for YouTube and they are censorers. So your Southern Baptist principles of soul liberty and religious freedom out the window when you're me. They don't believe in anybody's point of view except their own, except if you're signed up and registered to them and you've taken your vow and your oath to them. Every church membership is a vow and an oath you should have never taken. You didn't read that in the words of Yahusha? Well, if you didn't read it and you don't care for it, I'm not going to read it for you, because if you're in that state, you're swine. I'm not going to let you pounce on the pearls of the word. But anyway, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna see if perhaps this video show up on YouTube, as it can be heard right now, and I can hear it now. So let me know what you think in the comments. Go to YouTube. Shalom. Signing out.